everybody. Welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Naomi, the Brickanista, based here in Seattle. And I have to say, it has been so much fun. It's been now 2 weeks since we were in the BrickCon right here in Seattle. And I had a chance to hang out with Brick Literacy and several other really cool builders. And one of the people I ran into when I was there, it was so much fun and so full of energy. And I was like, you got to be on my show. I would love to have you on the show. And he said, this is going to be his first appearance on YouTube and using StreamYard. So I'm really, really excited to please help me welcome Little Scrap, also known as John. Little Scrap 23, actually, on Instagram.
Yes.
And I was so excited to run into you. And I know that you and I have followed each other on Instagram, and we like each other's builds, and we've always been very mutually supportive of each other. And when I saw you and your partner, I was just like, oh my God, you're here.
Yeah, I was really excited to finally get to meet you. Because last year at my first BrickCon, you had been traveling, I believe, but you still submitted a couple MOCs.
Well, it was interesting because that was last year. And I had an emergency family situation. I had to literally, I think it was 3 days before the convention, I spoke with Brickworm, Deneen, and I said, can you take my MOCs to the convention? So, well, that's good. You got to see my MOCs at least.
Yeah.
But it was just so nice because it's been several years, at least for me. The last time I went to BrickCon live was in 2019. And because of the pandemic, everything was virtual. And then I couldn't go last year because of my family emergency. So just great to meet you.
But this year was great because I feel like it was bigger and more people went than kind of last year, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
so last year wasn't a bad one to miss, I feel.
Yeah, I guess if I was to miss one, that probably was okay. And I ended up winning an award, even though I was gone. I won for one of my bracelet builds that I did. I made it into like a little mini building. And so I
remember that for the tiny city, right?
Yeah, Micropolis. Yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, well, it's good that since you registered and you have the right to display your MOCs, you might as well. And I'm really grateful for Deneen. Brickworm and I actually met at BrickCon in 2019. So we have a nice fellowship because of it. And you're based in California, though, right?
No, I'm right here. I'm here in Seattle.
That's right. You know what? I keep forgetting. I meet so many people.
A lot of people misplace me, but I don't know. I guess I just have one of those personalities where I could be from anywhere.
Where are you from, anyway? Now, are you a Seattle native?
I am not. I was born and raised in Maine, so
oh wow,
opposite coast.
Well, Maine is beautiful. I've been there a couple times, and
it's gorgeous. It's just small.
It's small, and I think it's also the winters are brutal.
Yeah. Although we're starting to get a lot more snow here, which is why I moved over here. So because there wasn't much, but
yeah. Well, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
And I know that you and I have admired each other's builds from afar, and yet we're right here in Seattle together.
Well, I think the pandemic is when we started following each other. And so then there wasn't really a whole lot of meeting up and doing that sort of thing. So I joined in a couple of your challenges during that. And then you were traveling for the first BrickCon, and now we finally had a chance.
Yes, I know. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better too over time. Now, since we were talking about the challenges, okay, I don't know why my dog is howling all of a sudden. What is it, girl? Sorry about that. Okay, so we were talking about the Wild Lion set.
Yes.
And that was one of the Rebrick This challenges that I did along with Depot Bricks. So we had partnered on that. And lo and behold, the Master Build Challenge is the Wild Lion set.
That was crazy, huh? Yeah. I remember I did that Rebrick challenge with you guys, and I had used all of the ball joints to make Tiara. And so when it came time to do it at the BrickCon, I was like, well, I don't want to just mimic what I've already done because I've already done something like that. And I looked around and everybody was making mechs. Like,
yeah,
literally
mostly mechs. I did a spaceship, but usually spaceships and mechs are typical.
So I just picked up the pieces and started like putting them together, and it looked like hair to me. And it looked like the hair from the show Rugrats, a cartoon Rugrats. She had like a doll where half the hair was ripped out. That's what it reminded me of. So I just kind of went with that, and then it started to turn into a face. So luckily, it was enough to get me into the final, which was insane.
Well, and just for people who are not familiar with the Master Build Challenge, there were 100 builders.
I think it was more than that. I think it was 200.
200?
I think so, because both areas were filled up.
Right. Well, they told me 100 because there's 50 in each one.
Oh, okay.
But it could have been 200. It was crazy.
It was a lot of people.
But the thing about the Master Build Challenge is that they only took the top 20 to go to the next level.
That was crazy.
You know, it's either a 1 in 4 chance or a 1 in 8 chance, depending on if it's 100 or 200. But you and Brick Literacy made it into the top 20. And
I know.
You got a special brick for that too.
Yes, I have it right here. Hold on. So this was also my first. This was also my first like brick personalized like win.
Yes.
So when you participate in any of the games and you win, they give you a printed brick.
Right.
This was my very, very first one. And it was
awesome.
Just insane.
And congratulations, it's well deserved. I mean, all the top 20 were amazing, and
they were really
Brick Literacy did one. And just so people know, the challenge was to take the Wild Lion set and a Duplo squirrel. And you had to include the Duplo squirrel in there.
Where did I do with my squirrel?
I'm sure it's around. So yeah. you ended up putting the hair, and how did the squirrel work in?
So I made a face, and it kind of looked like a Sesame Street Muppet, sort of, where his mouth was open only on one side, and I made some letters coming out saying "ah" like he was screaming, and then I put the Duplo squirrel in front of it because the Duplo squirrel doesn't belong in the Lego world, so he was kind of shocked by it. And then I made like a little brick built acorn, and then a tiny little brick built squirrel to go next to it.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so I feel like I don't think anybody else made letters.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think mine was
the only one who did the lettering.
So I think that's what got me in, because the build wasn't spectacular. I didn't use all the pieces. And like some of the mechs, the way they were built, I think had better techniques than say mine did. But I think that mine was different is why it got.
I think you're right. I think the unique take on the challenge was, I think many people got in for that, but I wouldn't discount your technique. I think that when I saw your face, it reminded me of the Mixel type of characters. I don't know if you remember the Mixels line.
I do. I have a handful of them.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, is, you know, the kind of the quirky faces and yeah. And hello, Lego student. Welcome to the stream.
Hello. Hey, Mandy. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Good to have you here. And today is what I call Builder Insights. I've interviewed several different builders from the Lego community, and everybody has a different take on what has brought you into the Lego community and what inspires you. And so I'm kind of curious, how did you get your start in the Lego community?
When the Lego movie came out, that was it. I bought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bought this set. It was just like a little, like, I think $20 set. It's where Emmett's trapped and they're trying to laser off the special or whatever.
Right.
And so I bought that, and I had it laying around, and then I saw another small set at the store, and then I ended up getting every set in the line for the Lego movie. So, and then it just snowballed from there. And now I'm in my Lego room. I have a whole room for it. So I've been doing it, I think, 8 or 9 years now. I've had my Lego room for probably about 5 of those.
Wow.
Like I didn't really start getting into the Lego community until the pandemic started, because I didn't even realize that other people did this.
If there was a community.
Right. I thought I was kind of like a weirdo, with all this plastic in my house, building little scenes and that sort of stuff. But so one of the things that I loved about the Lego movie was that it made it okay to mash themes. Whatever you're into, you can just do it. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And I thought that was a really great way to look at it. One of the questions I get asked most, like when I meet people in person, like when I go to conventions, is what are you into? What do you like? And a lot of people are like, oh, it's Bionicle or it's space. I like everything. I have from Star Wars to Ninjago to Friends to ideas. I think you can appreciate all of it and kind of make it work together.
Right. Well, and you brought up a good point too about how the Lego movie was kind of a first start. First of all, that Lego would even do a movie about its characters, and then it gave you permission to do a mashup of different genres too.
Yeah.
And you have a couple fans here. Jessica's here in the
Oh,
chat.
hey, Jessica. Thanks for
Jessica. And Remy Baker is here. How's it going,
Remy?
Yes, it was great meeting you both at BrickCon. Of course,
yes,
Remy
definitely
had shocked me on the air saying, we're going to have a little wrinkle in our broadcast because I'm going to be at BrickCon. I was like, what? You're going to be there? It's crazy. But yeah, I think that's the other thing is, so going back to the genres, that you have this love of all the different themes within the Lego universe, and then kind of mashing things up and putting things together is just natural for you. And
I think so, yeah.
You're wide open to that. And I think for me too, I've grown to appreciate more of the lines as I see other builders using them. And like one of the things that really impressed me, there's a mock by Mark Cruikshank from Lego Masters Season 1, where he took friends in a dystopian universe.
Oh, was that at Cascade?
I think he showed it at Brick Slopes.
Oh,
in Brick's Cascade. I don't think he brought it. I don't think he was even at BrickCon, but I saw it on the internet and I was just like, whoa. Because you always think of Friends as in their nice, pristine little communities, and just to think of them being like in a Mad Max universe, it was just brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I love the mashups. Like I just did with Martin and the Brickhoff. I can't think of her first name.
Friendship Timber.
Yeah, so I loved that, and so I did that, and I took the friends that I made an X-wing.
Yes, and you won an award for this too, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Recently, that is brilliant.
I won the space puzzle, the little Benny Spaceman puzzle.
Yeah.
So that's currently on my kitchen table being worked on.
Well, I just want to say that some of the things that I love about your builds too is your use of color. And you've also participated a lot in the, was it the minifig habitats too?
Oh, yeah. Those are so much fun. Like that's probably one of my favorite mediums that I've come across since starting Lego. It forces you to concentrate on a small item, but you can really pack as much as you want in there. Like you think it's such a small space, but you can really tell a story, and it forces you to think about that story and how can I tell that story in this space,
right? And with the theme, so I think the next one is a Halloween type of theme. So
it is.
Are you? I imagine you're working on that right now, right?
It's actually finished.
Oh, is this a preview?
I may show it a little later, but the habitats I'm going to show now are the ones that I brought for BrickCon, which got me an honorable mention at the show.
Yes, because this was, for those of you who don't know, this is the BrickCon logo, right?
Yeah.
And so you have the red cube, the red and the red, blue, and yellow all together. I just love monochromatic ones too, because it gives you a whole new perspective. And the character with the bathtub gear.
Yeah, I love him. He's one of my favorite characters from that series. And
Remy said, "I remember those. That was cool."
Thank you. Yeah, I just love the habitat. They're so much fun. Let me see if I can reach the Halloween ones.
Yeah, and I should mention that I need to have Jen on this show sometime to talk about the habitats. I'm going to I'm going to go full screen while you're off camera.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. It just took me a second.
Okay. I think one of the things I learned from theater is that when somebody's off stage, you kind of cover for them, right?
Right. So I'll show you the back.
Oh, okay. So is that a curtain or what is there?
It is a
spider
curtain.
webs?
It's a curtain using the Spider-Man strings. So it's supposed to be like a beaded curtain.
That is brilliant.
So this time I've decided to up my game a little bit because everyone else has. When building habitats, people have started doing like a theme within their stacks.
Okay.
So that's what I did this time. So it's like a haunted house or like the Munsters house or, something along those lines where the first 3 is going to be the basement. And then the next is the main level of the house. And then the third is the
attic. Okay. So this is a teaser for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
That starts, what's today? So yeah, in like a week, I think that starts.
Yeah, it's the 16th.
Yeah, so in about a week, I think. So I'll start posting 1 a day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I've participated in a few of those challenges. And I think one of the things that's always hard for me is, you're getting ready for cons, and then you have those builds, and then you have these other challenges that are taking place. And just trying to manage them all is something that I find challenging. How do you manage through?
It does get tough. I work overnights, so I get some spare time while my husband's at work to kind of do a couple of hours here and there, like just to focus solely on that. I make a lot of lists. I have note cards.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So this one is a list of items I took to build my last habitats. So I can take the parts and put them back where they're supposed to be. But I will so at the beginning of the month, if I know I have like say 6 challenges, I'll write them all out, put down my ideas that I know I want for them, and see if I can get any of them to overlap. Like the
great idea.
December was also part of Kate Burkhuntress's Let's Build Space. So I used 1 build for 2 challenges.
Oh, okay. That's
because
smart.
They can overlap. Same with the Halloween habitats for Brick Fan builds. Kate Burkhuntress's challenge this month is Let's Build a Haunted Town.
Okay.
So this is my haunted house. I do have something else that I'm working on maybe if I have time. But I knew I could use my habitats as a double build.
Right.
If I didn't find the time.
That's really smart because it's hard to participate in as many challenges that are out there. And I know that what's great about both Brick Huntress and Jen's habitats is they're very consistent. Is that that once a month they're going to have something happening. Yeah. And I think that when I was hosting challenges with first of all it was Joriel Builds who was doing the daily brick limit.
Oh right.
And we did that a couple times, and it was interesting. Several people have told us that we were one of the first to do a challenge, and that it was like, oh my God, you can do this with today's the 16th, you can build 16 pieces. But it just got to be to the point where there's just it's hard to get feedback to everybody. Yeah. And especially on a daily challenge, it was overwhelming. And it got to the point too, Joriel Builds hasn't been in the community in a while. He's kind of fallen off, which I'm really sad about because he's a really great builder.
Yeah, it can happen though. I feel like a lot of people during the pandemic had so much time to devote and they just really dove 100% in. And then once things kind of start just going back to normal, it's like, oh, I don't have any time for this anymore.
Yeah. There's several people that have one of the people I remember who's a veterinarian. I can't remember her handle off the top of my head, but once the pandemic was over, it was like, I'm sorry, I just don't have time to do these challenges anymore. And that was Tricky Lug. And do you also belong to Tricky Lug?
I'm in it, but I don't do. I almost never do the challenges because I always forget. And then I'm also doing all the Instagram challenges that I do. So it's, but I have been trying. I've been trying to tell myself I need to do more of them. Like I saw this month is favorite color, I think.
Which you can already, you have the minifig habitats right there. So pick one of those as your favorite color.
Red is my favorite color, so I could kind of expand from that.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So if you were to look back at all of the builds you've done since the Lego Movie 2 days or Lego Movie days, which are your favorites of your MOCs that you would look at?
So the Spider-Man Ultimate Battle Bridge is my favorite set. I bought 2 of them, and then I ordered a bunch of spare parts from Lego to make it a double lane bridge. And so, and then a ramp from street level. So it's like a full bridge now, but broken in the middle still. So that's probably my favorite MOC/mod. My favorite MOC is probably, that's tough. I have it's probably the hummingbird butterfly. Create with Jada a while back did as well as with she did it with Teach to Kinder. They did a animal mashup challenge. And so I took a hummingbird and a butterfly and mashed it. And it's sitting right over there. That's one that I've never taken apart. I just can't bring sometimes I have a MOC and I just can't bring myself to take it apart, so I'll keep it for a little while. But that one's still hanging around, and that's probably the oldest MOC I have, other than the bridge.
Right.
So that would probably be my favorite full-on MOC, I think.
Yeah, I think that we all have our kind of attachment, especially our first one that you've kind of created outside of instructions. And I'm similar to you, but my problem is that I had my Spice Pirate ship, which is the pirates as Spice Girls as pirates, and I've brought it to several shows, so it's kind of packed in a box, ready to go to the next show. And I'm thinking, it would be kind of nice to be able to display that, but then when you have to take it to a show, you got to have to break it down and pack it and all of that, and that's what I'm struggling with is. Maybe what I need to do, maybe for 2023, is putting together MOCs that you deliberately put on for display, maybe for your own personal use, and then you have a set of MOCs that you take on the road for
that's probably a good idea. My problem is I don't have that much brick, so any MOC I make for a challenge almost immediately gets destroyed. I still use Ziploc bags for my storage. I'm a floor builder, so even though I'm sitting at a build table, I don't actually build here. The floor is a nice space because you can put everything out, and like you might be thinking about using one piece, but then something else is in front of you, and you see, oh, that might actually work better.
Somebody else mentioned that it was the newest contestant from Lego Masters, Ethan Dungan. He talks about he doesn't sort by part, he sorts by color. And that he puts all of his red, for example, in one big bucket. And he says that sometimes he's looking for a piece, and then all of a sudden he'll see another piece, and then he realizes that piece would actually work better than what he originally thought. So it's the same process for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, for the longest time I did sort by color. It's only in the last, I think, 2 years that I started doing by part, just because my collection got a little bit bigger, and it was just the color. Some of the colors were too out of control. It was taking way too long to sort through them. But yeah, sorting by color sometimes is helpful though, because if I'm building, say, a red or blue habitat, all my red is in one spot, versus now I have to pull out 800 different things to do one individual red piece. maybe one day I will upgrade to some drawers like you have, but
Well, I'm already outgrowing these drawers, so maybe I'll chat with you about if I end up replacing these. I'll send you a note to see if you might be interested in them because some of them the drawers are kind of smaller, which is
right.
great for small pieces. But when you get too many, like for example, 1x2 clips with with the 1x2 plates with the clip,
Yeah.
some of them I've gotten to the point where I have so many and it would be nice to be able to put them kind of in another storage area. Yeah, so a lot of people have moved to the IKEA drawers,
Hmm.
similar to what Tiago Catarino does,
Right.
where it's a wider drawer. It's wide and shallow, and then you can put individual cups in there, and then you can have all of them the same color, but they're separated
Yeah.
out by shape.
Right. That would
Yeah,
be nice.
that would be nice, but
Yeah. I
I'm in a
finally
small
upgraded my
place too.
tables last year because I
Mhm.
was just using like this shelf, but like on the floor,
Oh,
and then that was my tabletop.
oh, can you explain that to me again? So you had
So
your table
we
kind
had
of,
so when we moved into like a studio apartment, and so I bought
yeah,
several of these IKEA squares
yeah,
to build a false wall.
Kallax,
And so when we didn't need the false wall anymore, we had all this big bulky furniture,
right?
and I needed a table, so I just stacked them on top of each other, like on the
Uh-huh.
like horizontally, and
Ah,
it was a tabletop.
okay. So
Um,
so you put like a piece of plywood on top of it,
yeah,
or
like
okay?
like the what do they call that? It's the paneling, wood paneling for the wall. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
$5 a sheet at Home Depot,
Oh, nice.
and then you can
That's
just
a
paint it
smart
any
way to
color
do
you
that.
want. Yeah. But yeah, I finally decided to get the IKEA tables. I think it was about a year ago now. So
Hmm.
now I have space underneath that I could actually put storage. Whereas
Yeah,
before there was no space below without moving the whole table off. Um,
right. Yeah, I think we all kind of struggle with when you get to a point of breaking down sets and then having to sort all the pieces and putting them into some sort of storage system. Like for me, I've used these Acro Mills for a while, probably for the last year and a half, 2 years. And then I still use pick a brick cups too. I have I still have these. This is all my 2x2 in white of
but
these.
if it works, why not?
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll put these in a what is it? A shoe holder that
Oh,
goes
right.
over your
On the back of
doors.
the bar, yeah. That's a
And my
smart
mom came to visit and she was looking at my collection. She goes, "You have a lot of Lego." It's like I'm kind of like mid-range. I mean, if you go to somebody's house like Alice Finch, I mean, she has like almost her entire second floor is all Lego.
Yeah,
It's
I will
crazy.
say it is creeping out of my Lego room a little
Yeah.
bit. Like in the dining area is the globe and the birds of paradise, but those are nice display pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
then,
not like your storage.
no,
Right.
and then like we have the photo frame and a couple of like architecture sets in the living room, and then
Mm-hmm.
all the friends from the TV show, like the coffee shop and the apartments, because my husband is a huge Friends fan. So
Ah,
he's not big into Lego, but there was a little
but he's so
crossover.
supportive.
Yes, and we built them together. So he built
Yeah.
Joey and Chandler's apartment. I built the girls' apartment, or the something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
he
Remy
does
was
build
mentioning that
sometimes.
he has so many pick-a-brick cups. I need to find a better way to sort them too. Well, like I said, if you get those shoe holders that go over your door, I mean, it's great because you just they fit perfectly in there.
That
It's
would be
just that
perfect.
if you sort them into those cups, but if you just go to the pick-a-brick wall and you haven't sorted them after, then yeah, that could be a challenge. So do you must also appreciate that we have 3 Lego stores here in the Seattle area.
Yes.
And do you find that because we have so many Lego stores that it helps to foster your hobby too? Or do you end up going to some of like Fred Meyer or some of the other places.
Occasionally, I will go to another place if they have a really good sale. But I'm kind of a purist, and I like the VIP points. I like to know that I'm getting a little something back at least if I buy it from Lego. But I am a big fan of Bricks and Wheels.
Oh, I love Bricks and Wheels too. That's, and for those of you who are in the Seattle area, that's in Factoria, which is close to Bellevue. And what I like about them,
they also have a store in Kent.
Oh, that's right. I haven't been to the Kent one.
And so I've been to both. Lately, more in Kent because the West Seattle Bridge has been unpassable up until last month.
Yeah.
And so getting over to Bellevue or Factoria was really difficult. But now we'll be able to get there easier. But yeah, it's a secondhand shop, and they buy, sell, and trade. So if, say, you make a lot of purchases at Lego and they give you multiple gifts of purchase, you can take those and trade them towards a retired set that you might like at one of these secondhand shops. And so that's what I really like about it. So it helps to bring down the cost a little when you're looking at a retired set that's, say, $500-$600. But you can trade in a couple $100 and it makes it a little more worth it.
Yeah, I recently traded in my Apocalypseburg. Uh-oh.
It's a fun set.
Well, it's a fun set, but I got to the point where it was so large, and it's very hard to integrate into a collection because it's just so different. It is kind of standalone in many ways.
That's true. It's got a weird shape. I can see.
I brought it to Bricks and Wheels, and we worked out a deal which was like part cash, part trade-in. So I was able to get parts for my Panda Palace that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's also, you're supporting a local business too.
Yes.
Part of the reason why I really, really like them.
Yeah.
But well, let me ask you, what other things do you do outside of Lego?
I cook.
What hobbies do you have?
I like to cook, bake, or in just regular cooking. I love food. I'm obsessed with food. It's bad.
Who isn't obsessed with food? I know.
The two things I spend money on are Lego and food, and that's where our entertainment budget goes, basically.
Your budget goes to?
Yeah.
Right.
And Ryan doesn't cook, so he gets the benefit of me cooking. We live really close to the water, so we like to walk down to the waterfront, or not the waterfront in Seattle, but like people say Alki Beach, but it's not actually Alki Beach. It's there's a boat launch before you get there, but it's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
We walk from our door, I don't know, 15 minutes, and we're already on the Sound. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
You can see seals playing in the water. It's nice. Yeah.
That's one thing I love about this area, because I grew up in San Francisco, so I was always near some body of water. And some of my favorite places are kind of in your area, that Alki Beach area. I love, what is it called? Fauntleroy? Have you been to the Fauntleroy area? I just love also watching the ferries, the ferry boats just kind of go in and out. And I do miss San Francisco in a lot of ways, but there's so much here in Seattle too.
There's a really cute little park called Jack Block Park, and it's just before you get down to like the beach areas and stuff. But it's like hidden away, so not a lot of people go down there. And it has the most gorgeous view of the water taxi traveling from West Seattle to Seattle.
Oh.
And it's almost always really quiet and peaceful down there. Yeah.
Okay. Jack Box Park?
Jack
Is that
Block.
Okay.
It's a weird name, but yeah, it's a cute little park, and it's hidden away. And there's kind of like two areas, and you would think that there's only one, because the second area you have to drive through this weird like RV storage area. But once you get past it, there's a really nice little rock beach, and then a really nice lookout.
Okay, I am gonna head down there.
You should check it out. It's really
sometime
nice.
Soon. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, and like I'm looking at your storage behind you. Now, on the top shelf, are those mechs?
Those are all mechs. So the front row is the smaller like Marvel that has just been come out. So a lot of the smaller like Spider-Man.
The $10 sets. which we always laugh because why do superheroes need mechs, right?
Exactly. But
Iron Man doesn't need a mech.
I'm still gonna buy them.
Iron Man is a mech if you think about it.
Yeah. And then behind I have like Ninjago, Monkey Kid.
Yeah.
Transformers up there.
Wow.
Like I said, I like a bit of everything. I wish my brain worked in a way that I could build those as MOCs myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was just going to ask you that. Is that have you tried building some mechs?
So there's this sort of dragon mech that I built, and I showed at BrickCon last year. I re-bricked Benny's spaceship.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
Into a dragon.
Oh, I love that.
And so he's in the little cockpit right there.
Right.
But it's just the parts from his from the movie Spaceship.
Uh-huh.
And the wings were the most difficult because there weren't any hinges in that set.
Okay.
Other than these really weak.
The clip hinges, yeah.
Yeah.
The click hinges, yeah.
And that's all that holds it on. There's one little click hinge.
Wow.
So you have to be careful because they fall off all the time. But yeah, my brain doesn't work in shoulders and hips. And that. Oh, you know, I do have actually.
Hey, Mairead. She says, great re-brick.
Oh, thank you very much.
People are impressed with your re-bricks, and I count that as a mech. It's a dragon mech. And
so this would be another re-brick. I had an extra one of these.
Oh.
And I was going to bring this to BrickCon, but I wasn't satisfied with the way it was coming out. 100%.
Oh, look at that. It's got such personality already.
I really love the personality it has, but it needs a little more work, I think. And I might maybe put a little guy, like a driver in here.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to make it a mech, you got a perfect place right at the rib cage.
But I love his hands, or her hands, their hands. They're really...
Wow.
So I think it's fun to limit yourself. I think when you introduced me to the re-bricks, it's such a fun idea. So I try to do that if I have an extra set, or when I'm taking a set apart. I think, okay, if I'm going to just use this for parts, let's see if I can build something with it first.
Right. Well, you have Debo also to thank. He just joined the chat because, so Debo, we were talking earlier about the Wild Lion re-brick this challenge, and that was the same set that they used for the Master Build challenge over at BrickCon, and Lil Scrap and Remy both made it to the finals. So yeah, that was fun. Or the semifinals, right? Is it finals?
Well, it was semifinals. So the first round was like the semifinals, and then there was just the 2 rounds. So qualifier and finals, I guess.
Yes.
And my final build, they gave us that 1,500 piece classic set of all the rainbow colors and stuff to build with. And the theme was the theme of the con, which was 21 Time for Fun. And I think Liam from Lego Masters Season 3 won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liam Norris ended up winning.
So good, though. Like,
yeah,
he's really talented.
Definitely. And the other thing I love about him and his mom is they love pandas.
Yeah.
They came up to me and they said, "We just love pandas and we love your panda pirate ship." So I think the thing that I took away from the con is that certain people really gravitate to things. And for some reason, my panda pirate ship, which I have Devo to thank for the name, it's the Pandas of Penzance. And I think what I have to do is make it, every time I bring it to a show, I make it, I do improvements, but I think I have to make it a massive ship. I think the next one needs to be really large.
Size.
Yes, I think it needs to be that. And then also, it'll have to be custom sails because they just don't make sails large enough for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so Remy says it's a Lego 13-foot tall skeleton. I don't know about 13 feet. That's pretty big.
Well, I think you're thinking Lego scale, like minifig scale.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And then bricks.
I tried to make it look like a skeleton, but to me, I feel like the face looks more like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I do love that face, especially the red eyes. That really makes it pop.
This is probably the fourth face I made for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not really a sculpt builder.
Well, you say that, but look at what you just built. And then, so all right. So this begs the question: what's the next con you're going to, and are you going to be bringing that?
So we would love to do Chicago, and everyone keeps asking if we're going to, but we probably just won't be able to swing that this year. So we'll probably just stay local again and just do Cascades. So we'll just do Cascades and
You better register today.
I know today's the last day.
Today's the last day for early bird registration. For any of you listening, if you want to save $10, register today because it's only $65 for early bird pricing.
And when you go to these conventions, just being there gets you entered into many door prizes. You can leave with so much Lego, and it's the cost of the con definitely covers the free Lego.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. And also the inspiration you get from so many different people who are at the con as well. And so Deepa wanted to say that he gets the bear vibe from your face.
Yeah, the face, it just, I don't know, it just looks more bear. Like maybe it's because it's so, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're going to Bricks Cascade.
Yes.
And that's going to be in May this year instead of March. Have you thought about Brick Can? Because that's coming in April.
We considered it. We're thinking about it, but we're not 100% sure.
I've definitely got that on my radar. Brick Can.
It's definitely there, but the only problem is it's very limited space. I think they said they only had so many spaces, and then I've been dealing with some long COVID. So
I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. I'm managing. So finances right now are a little tight, but
well, that's because we spend all our money on Lego too.
I know.
So what's the next big set that you've got your eyes on right now?
The Atari.
The Atari set? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So growing up, that's the first set we had.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 3 of them because I have 2 full siblings that I grew up with.
Oh,
so
wow.
we didn't want to have to fight. My dad didn't want us to fight over video, so we each have our own. So, and that sounds like I grew up like privileged, but I didn't. They were secondhand. They came from like the Goodwill, like they were bought like used. So, and then the day the Nintendo came out, my dad took us to the store and bought us one because he also loves video games. So like those 2, like when the Nintendo came out, that was a must-have for me. So that's in the living room. So the Atari is like definite have to have.
And so the Nintendo, did you get the one with the rotating screen and Mario sitting on top?
Yes. So in my living room, which is starting to become a Lego room too, because I love video games so much, we have 2 televisions and 2 PS4s so that my husband and I can play the same game that's only one player at the same time together. So I know it's bad. It's bad. When you're an adult and you can just do what you want, it's scary. This is what happens.
It's not scary. it's you have earned that privilege.
Yes.
Now that you're an adult, that you can choose what you want to have. But to have 2 PS4s with 2 TVs in the same room, and if I understand right, you're playing individually?
Yes.
And you're not playing against each other?
No. So he's not great at like high action video games where you have to like rotate a camera and that sort of thing. So we play, it's like a Sim City type game where you build a city.
Yeah.
With the roads and all that stuff. So he likes that kind of thing. So we'll play that together, but we'll both start the same scenario of city and see who can beat it faster.
Oh. So then that way it's saved individually too.
Right.
So that you could also, if you wanted to, keep building your city separately.
Right.
Oh,
definitely.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so under my TV is the Nintendo with the small TV. in my TV stand.
Well, Mairead says that's a queer life, and Debo says we were also a 2 PS4 household.
I'm glad
so
I'm
it sounds like it seems to work well for several couples.
There are some games that are like group player, but you have to be separate. Like you can't play on the same system.
Now, Debo's asking, is it Cities Skylines? Is
Yes.
that what you're playing?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay. I have a feeling Debo has that also on his PS4 because he's huge into architecture.
It's a really fun game. And like the levels that you have to think about when building, like if you think about everything like trash removal, electricity, heating, like all that stuff. So
right. Which is interesting because if you transpose that into the Lego world, very few toilets are ever put into city sets, if you think about it. And it's funny because I had Super Sewer Baby for a long time. And so I was putting toilets into things, and I have like portable toilets and such. And people are saying, you know what? If you go to Heart Lake City, the Friends sets put toilets into their buildings, but a lot of the other bigger sets, they don't.
A couple of the modulars have them. And then I have a porta potty somewhere, but I can't remember what it's from.
And the Treehouse does too.
Right, because it has the green toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an outhouse.
Debo says Gold FM is the best.
Oh, we don't listen to the music. We turn down the volume and listen to regular radio.
Okay, so he's talking about the music that's in City Skyline?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Wow. See, I have to get back into video games. I haven't really been into video games for a long time. Yeah.
It's something fun to do. I need multiple things to keep me occupied, so I will watch TV while I play a video game.
Because you keep the volume down, right, on the video game, so you can listen to the TV.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's cool because and Debo gives me a hard time about this because I don't play video games that much, but I think the soundtracks are some of the fun parts. Like when I was playing video games, it was Grand Theft Auto, Miami Vice. I know that goes way back. But the soundtrack was one of the reasons why I loved it so much because, you know, you're driving down, you know, Miami Beach and just hearing the soundtrack of, you know, 80s music was always fun. And the radio stations from Grand Theft Auto are the reason I play the games. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
The Grand Theft Auto games have some good songs.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Christmas time. Maybe I'll think about, you know, maybe doing that. I do have like an old Xbox system, and I have the Lego games, you know, Lego Batman and some of that, but I haven't really used it that much.
It was the last month or the month before. The Switch was doing a sale, and I bought the Lego Worlds game, and that one's a lot of fun.
Well, I think I may have mentioned to you and maybe some others that I got into Twitch because I was living vicariously through other people with regard to Animal Crossing. Because you hear all these people talk about Dodo Airlines and other things, and I have no idea what you're talking about. So I would just watch Twitch streamers playing those games. So I think probably what I have to do is think about the games I want before I invest in them and watch a few Twitch streamers to see if I would enjoy it. Because that's a bummer if you buy, you know, like a $500 game system and then, you know, another $50 to $100 for the game. And then you find out you really don't like the game, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. Tough. City Skylines. Okay.
It's fun. And there's a lot of different expansion packs for it. It's so funny because when we first got the game, I told my husband, I was like, we should just buy the full game because I think it's something you're gonna like. He's like, no, let's just buy this one expansion. We're now 7 or 8 expansions in, and we've almost bought the full game now.
Oh my god!
Because every time we finish the expansion, he's like, just let's buy the next one. And so I'm like,
right.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like, but you have to buy 2 of them, right? For each system. And Mairead says she really enjoyed the Lego Worlds game too. So,
it's fun.
Yeah, so maybe that's what
it's a lot of fun. And it also has a couple of different expansions for that you can buy. But yeah, it's a fun game. You just kind of go around and build Lego.
Right, and that's a PS4, right? Because
I have that on the Switch, but I think you can buy it on any platform.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out. maybe 2023 will be my year of the video game, because I also know friends, when they travel, they take their video games with them.
Yeah,
Do you do that as well?
the
Because you
Switch
have
is
two
portable.
systems, so.
So the Nintendo Switch is a handheld that also can be on the TV. So
Okay.
that one we can take with us, but the PS4s we can't.
Yeah.
PlayStation years ago tried to make a handheld system, but it didn't take off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Nintendo Switch sounds like that might be something for me to check out, because also it's the space. Because the Xbox, you have, you know, the console, and then you have the cables, and you have the remote handheld. Yeah, it's a lot of investment of space as well.
It is, yeah.
So if you're a Switch, the Lego games are always on sale. Oh, okay.
That's good to know.
All right. All right, Mairead, you're starting. If you need to find a bargain, talk to Mairead. She can find anything at Lego. She finds all of the, you know, secondhand sales and all of that. And yeah, so I trust your judgment on that, Mairead. So thank you.
I feel like in the Seattle area, there's never any good sales on Lego.
Well, yeah, that's because we have such a large market of Lego builders here.
That's what I think. Yeah.
If you end up going to a garage sale, somebody has been there like right when they opened, and they took all the Lego already. So yeah, you're right. It's hard in this area. That's why when I was in Arizona, so you
I bet you got some good deals.
Well, okay, so I was in Arizona last year because my dad too being in the hospital, but I was able to get 4 of those snowman character sets, or the snow character building sets. And I gave them all as gifts. And people were saying, you know, I can't find any of them in Seattle.
Nope.
You can't find any of them in California. And then when I sent them as gifts, everybody was like, oh my God, this is great. I can't find them. And it would probably cost me more to ship them than it was themselves. Oh, you got one.
This was so hard to find, though. I had to go so many times to finally get it.
To a Target?
Yeah. And then my nephew comes over. He's, 5 now? And he picks up. He's like, can I have this? I was like, no.
That's mine. You can't have that.
I'm really sorry. I'm like, you can pick a blind bag minifig out of the bag if you would like to take home with you. But because a lot of times when I, in the last couple of years, they didn't let you feel the bags.
Yeah.
So I would get duplicates. And once I got home, I could feel their duplicates, so I don't open them. But when they come over, I'm like, just take 1 or 2, and you get a new minifig.
Well, let me ask you. So, kind of for my last set of questions, since you talked about minifigs, what line of minifigs do you like, and which one do you identify with, or do you have a sig fig as well?
I do have a sig fig.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And thank you, Mairead, by the way, talking about the Nintendo eShop, not in real life, if you want to get that discount. If you want to go take a look real quick,
yeah,
I can vamp for you.
Okay.
So while he's looking for that, just as a reminder, remember, if you want to go to Bricks Cascade, which is in Portland, they've moved the date to May. It's the weekend of Mother's Day. So it's called a convention from a mother dimension. Instead of another, it's a mother dimension. So if you want to, you got to register on the Bricks Cascade site today to get that discount. It's only $65 for a 4-day convention. It's crazy. Okay, and now we're back.
So this is my sig fig.
Oh, nice. I love the hair.
So the hair is from Batman Two-Face.
Yes.
The face is from the Banana Man.
Okay.
The shirt is from a holiday poolside 3-in-1 creator set.
Oh, wow.
But it also comes in other things. And then the pants are from the CMF Computer Girl.
Oh my gosh, that's an expensive sig fig.
It is.
So you don't give away a lot of those, I imagine.
I've never given away a single one.
Yeah.
This is the only one. And but this is probably my favorite minifig.
Oh my gosh. Is that
It's a fawn.
I was just going to ask if that was Pan from Greek mythology.
It's the same creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at those legs.
I know. They're
The
so
hooves
cool.
are perfect.
Yeah. And his little horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite minifig.
Oh, nice. Wow.
But I really enjoy any costumed or food minifig. Like those I really love. The food are just, I love them. They're hilarious. I can't get enough of those. Or the costumes too. Like I love the costumes.
Right. Like the Banana Man, for example. You mentioned that with the glasses.
Yeah. Or like the new ones that just came out with like the little reindeer or the dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this has been so much fun getting to know you. What's your next step, or what do you have planned in the next couple months?
Well, the Halloween challenges, and then I'm sure it'll be Christmas challenges. So that'll be that. I'm working on something from our Mother Dimension. I have an idea. So I'd say that's probably,
That's a lot, though.
It is, yeah. And then just the regular things. I try to do mosaics on Mondays, which is tough all the time.
Yeah.
I also try to do Sig Fig Fridays if I can. Lego Creator does that. So yeah, there's always something that you can do.
Well, I haven't talked to Debo lately, but if we do another mashup, or not a mashup, rebrick this challenge, I was thinking it might be fun to do a holiday one.
Oh, that might be fun, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to think about if there's a set with a lot of like white in it. There was last year they had that snowball fight one.
Oh yeah.
We did a mock improv once of that. So, and it was a Target, I think, exclusive that came out, but we will let you know, because if you ever want to do mock improv, by the way, I don't know if you've ever done that.
I joined in once while you guys were doing that, like at home, and it was so much fun to have like no time, and you have to do something. Like
you have 1 hour.
The thing about
I'm going to give you a date here. So,
but the thing for me is though, like I can't just go to the drawer and pick the pieces. Like I have to be like on camera wise. I don't know how good that would look.
I'm gonna give you time to plan. I'm gonna give you a couple weeks to plan, because our next mock improv is going to be in 2 weeks. It's going to be on the 30th. And I also have we booked him a long time ago because he showed up on May the 4th be with you. And why am I blanking now? It's like, I think Remy, help me out here. We have another guest who's scheduled for that. Spot the Magic Ninja. So Spot the Magic Ninja is going to be there. You're welcome to be there too if you're available, and it'll be at this same time, 1 o'clock. So
on the
1
30th?
o'clock, mock improv in 2 weeks, and it'll be a holiday theme. So it could be, since it's Halloween, and you're welcome to dress up too and cosplay if you want. And I dressed up for May the 4th be with you. I was in a my mind is going blank now. Utini, what? A Jawa. I was a Jawa. See, it's like my brain is not firing right for some reason right now.
Maybe it's all the smoke in the air.
Really excited about all of these things coming up. So Mairead says, "Oh my God, you should totally do it." Yes. So, all right, you have an open invitation, little scrap. And anybody here in the chat too, Remy, Debo, Mairead, you've all been on mock improv as well. I think Debo might be able to make it. The polar bears might be a good rebrick improv. Ooh, yeah, possibly.
Yep.
Possibly. So with mock improv, we've usually focused on a character.
Yeah.
So I thought what might be fun is pick any Halloween character you want. And then we could do the mock improv with that as the minifig character that we would be doing this. And we could do the Rebrick This Holiday Special. Yeah, that would be different from mock improv, but yeah, I think
that does sound fun.
Maybe for November/December. Well, so Debo and I need to talk about Rebrick This because we haven't hosted one in a while. But yes, and I was the Jawa. Thank you. Yeah. Remy had a Mandalorian helmet on, and I wore this Jawa outfit that I kind of pieced together. So who knows what will be on in 2 weeks.
Okay,
But,
I'll have to think of something.
Well, see, this gives you time to prepare your build space. So 2 weeks. So
Okay.
let me know if you're interested.
I am interested. It'll probably be a yes.
Okay.
Whether I'm just on the floor in a sea of Lego or not.
Okay, well, good.
That's
good.
how it works.
It'd be great to have you here. And I also want to thank you again. It was just such a pleasure getting to know you. And I'm glad, I hope this experience was good for you, because I know you said this is your first YouTube broadcast, and really glad that you made it here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And for those of you who enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe to the stream and give us a comment if there was something you enjoyed about it. And don't forget, follow Little Scrap 23 on Instagram. Has some amazing builds there. You've seen some already here live on the show. And I'm sure you have more builds that are going to be coming up in the near future.
Yes, I actually have a handful of stuff on the table at the moment that is works in progress, or, you know, silly inspirations.
And you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 31956, Seattle, Washington 98103. So feel free to send any fan mail there. I've been so blessed that so many people have been so supportive. I've been streaming now for a little over 2 years, and it just keeps getting more and more fun. So thanks again, and I wish you well, and everybody in the chat who's been hanging out with us, good times. Thank you, Remy. So thank you, Remy, Debo, Maraid. We had Jessica on earlier, and Lego students also. Thank you for just hanging out with us and having a good time here. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. Take care, everybody. Bye. See ya.